Herkese merhabalar. Arkadaşlar Vampyr serimizin ikinci bölümünde tekrardan birlikteyiz. Kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Şimdi...
You can do better than that. It's my turn.
Oha öldürdü lan.
Rotten oppressy, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
O ne yerden iş? Hepsini kurdu.
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse.
Ne diyor? Karıma vurmayacağım. Daha kibar ol. Seni geberteceğim.
Insult me again and I'll put an end to your misery right now.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Ne diyor abi? Kanka istiyorum. Genç. Cezbet.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Rehin alıp gönderiyor.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fight me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Beni bir hastaneye götür. Adamı yedik. Bir şey çıktı mı adamın üstünden? Yok. Müzikler çok iyi değil mi?
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Ya hastaneye geldik.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Diyor Londra'dan kişisel sorular görüşmek üzere diyor. Soru sorma gerek var mı? Cezbet diyor. Tıbbi muayene eyle.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Tamam çıkalım abi buradan.
Doctor, it's freezing here. Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you.
Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Ne diyor? Birkaç soruma görüşmek üzere.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
Bay Hampton'lar nasıl? Odam nerede? Doktor Swans'taki.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Oyunda rol yapma da var güzel. Şimdi gidiyoruz. Oğlum hastaneye girişi nerede lan?
I thought last summer's epidemic was difficult.
At least that mistress of the dark stopped following me.
Bak şey. Bravo. Bu şehrin size ihtiyacı var.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Wasted too much energy for so little result.
İkinci kata çıkıyoruz. Burası çok güzel. Hadi.
It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes.
Aha, olamaz.
Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Ne diyor? Ekonlar hakkında makale. Bir vampire yaklaşabilmek, ilgi çekici fiziksel, psikolojik özellikleri, bilimsel ve mantıksal bir yönde gözlemlemek ender bir fırsat, hatta bir ayrıcalıktır. Arkadaşlar şöyle geçiyorum. Durdurup okuyabilirsiniz. Cam çaldık.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Ulan o zaman. Burada eşyalarımızı geliştiriyoruz. Burada yatağımız var. Bakalım. Ne oldu sana? Daha iyi. Anlam yok ki. Tamam, şurada bir yatalım şimdi abi.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Ne yapıyordu? Sağlığımızı arttırıyordu. Fiziksel nefesimizi, koşma hızımı, şeyimizi arttırıyor, süremizi arttırıyor bu. Kan kapasitesi. Dövüş sırasında ısırma ile emilen kan arttır. Savunmacı. Bunu arttırsak ya. XP çokmuş lan. Arttır. Tamam, canımı arttırdım. Bak, taktik varmış. Ne diyor? Hedefinize karşı doğaüstü bir hamle yaparsınız ve yere inme sırasında hasar verirsiniz. Gölge pençesi. Bilim. Artık üzerinde güçlerini taşıyabilirsin. Abi, şunların hepsini artık. En kötü seviye bildiri. Haydi be. Yemem lazım ya. Ne söyleyeceğim değil mi? Ama oyundan özünü tam anlayamadım ama. Bura mı diyor?
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
Yarın gece devam eder.
I have so much time now.
Yeni kalktık lan. Bir şey yapamıyorum ki.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals.
Fanilerle yaşamayı öğren.
But what about my thirst for blood?
Şimdi abi 2 tane görevim var. Kapıya cevap ver. Kapı çal. Bu herhalde.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Morg'a gideceğiz şimdi. Morg nerede? Aşağıda.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Bazı vampir tekniği diğeriyle uyumlu olarak daha iyi çalışırlar. Büyük kombolar için farklı okyanada geçti valla. Oo, burada bir şey var ha. Ne kapı mı? Aa, çıktı mı lan? Aa, hastaneye geldi. Tövbe. Abi yok yok, çık çık. Ne lan bu? Düşmanlar zorlaştı ha. Lan bilmiş salmışlar. Orada alem yıkıyorlar lan. Lan birini yedim. Heh, geldim eski Morg'a. Abi o zaman Londra sokaklarında vampirler dolaşıyor. Bak, 6 metre aşağıda diyor. Ya burada yani. Diğeri de tam üstünde. İlk bunlar edelim. Yok, buraya çıkmayacağım, çıkıyor. Buradan gösteriyor ama. O zaman yukarıdakiler demek.
Balls of Mars, Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Sağ elimde bunlardan mı alsam ya? İngiliz birlikleri tarafından kullanılır güvenli bir ikinci silah. Kazıkla devam edelim.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Aa, 2'ye düştü. Tamam. Bir örneğimiz buydu.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Morg geri atlan aktarımı da aldım.
It's locked, all right.
Abi bir tane daha var. 43 metre. Şuradan mı acaba? Onu da bulacağız şimdi.
I cannot enter.
Yap. Daha bir şey yoksa oradan gidiyorum. Oraya mı baksak? Aa, buraya verme. Yok, burada değilmiş. O ne lan? Aa, ben de yapıyorum öyle şeyler. Dışarıda mı acaba? Doğru mu gidiyoruz ya? Şuraya işaret koyamıyor muyum? Kat. Tamam, buradan gidiş yok. Karantina diyor. Götüreceğiz mi buraya? sefer doğru gidiyoruz. Yo, aynı yere geldik ya. Hastane burası. Buraya gidiyor bana. Buraya. İşaret koyamıyorum ki oraya ben. Heh, koydum. Bura. Bu ciddi. Nereye geldik lan? Oo, çok geçtim oğlum ya. Bunlar ne? Ben bu arada takılayım ya. Ha diyor bak, canın zamanında kendini yeniler diyor. Ah, görev bulamadım ya. Burada mı acaba, başka yerden mi? Anladın mı? Bence buradan.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not out of life.
Tam burası doğru geldi. Abi yoklayalım. Nerede abi şey miyim? Hah. Nasıl değiştiriyor? Burada değişmiyor galiba. Oha, kaç tane var?
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Kullanılmış liste olmuş ya. Ne diyor? Yeni bir tür silah, ikinci silah buldum. Direkt olarak kan kazanmak için silah. Tamam, güzel. Vatandaş sorusu. Abi cinayet çözüyoruz burada ya.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Bunu da yedik. Kimden boss mu? İsimsiz erken öldün lan. Abi benim canım gerçekten çok az galiba ya. Çüş, öldürdü beni. Derin. Ben burada kesin öleceğim. Şimdi eşyalarımı değiştireyim. Ya. buradaydı ha. Aslında şöyle bir şey mi yapsam ya? Bir gidip şu aletimi değiştirip ondan sonra mı yazsam? Şu an biraz sıkıntı. Çıkayım ben buradan. Dur bir eşyalarımı değiştireyim. Gene değişmiyor. Abi her yerdeler ya. Sığınak nerede? Solda. Şurada mı? Tamam. Tamam, hastaneye geldik. Yer mi geldi lan? Ya buraydı da.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Şimdi arkadaşlar bir güçlerimizi dolduralım, güçlendirelim. Abi savunmacı. Bak bunların ünlem çıkmış. Neymiş bu? Katilinizi kanını damarlarında hapsederek onları savunmuş hale getireceğiz. Bunu da yapalım bakalım. Ana 5 kalmış. Ben yine kullanıyorum ki bunları. A4 çıktı şimdi. Eşya nasıl değiştiriyoruz ya? Heh, buradan lan. Şuna bakalım. Gidelim bakalım ya. Buradan gelmedim mi?
Bodies will arrive and then we depart. I'm managing a train terminal.
It's locked.
Bura mıydı ya? Evet, tam doğru geldik. Oyunda bir şey olmuş ya, ne oluyor? Heh, buradan. Abi bunlar da bastın geri geliyor ya. Şunu da yiyelim. Abi bir tane daha var. Daha 2 tane mi var? Şunu değiştireyim abi. Tamam. Buraya geçmiştik. Burada. Aynen burası. Şunu bir alayım ben. Şu bir. Açar ya. Biraz daha güçlenmek lazım böyle yemek için. Aynen bak, yeterince güçlü değilsen vatandaşın rakamını emliyor. Çık abi buradan. Şimdi o zaman vatandaş arayacağız. Yok, burası kötü. Dur. Hastaneye gitmem lazım.
It's locked.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul,
Lan iyi mi ya?
they belong to you now.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Nasıl yiyeceğim onu?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Ya nasıl yiyeceğim onu? Yiyemiyorum. Dur burada vardı. Mesela bu kadını yiyelim. Şunu
Yes,
yiyebilir miyim?
Doctor?
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
That's all for now.
Abi nasıl yiyoruz bunları ya? Neyse.
So many deaths. And still more coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Ne diyor? Londra Garden nasıl? 2 saat var. Tıbbi müdahale. Cezbetme. Böyle mi olsun?
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Cezbetme 1. Yapamıyor muyum?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Tamam.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Londra Garden. Herkes mi soruyor? Basalım ya. İpucu. Bana kendinden bahset.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
İpucular çıktı.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Kodlar değil, kodlar. Cezbetme ne oldu?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor, but I'm fine, thank you.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Şu spastik oldu galiba.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
B2.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Nice sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I'll never forgive anything.
Bir görev daha var mı?
You and
Siz
I,
kontrol
Dr.
diyor.
Reed, I know that Pembroke will prevail and survive.
Yapamayacağım abi onları.
Let you down, my boy.
Bir dakika. Görevden nerede abi? Abi anasıyla çocuk. Burada benim anlamadığım, bunun kanını içersem 2600 XP mi veriyor bana? Herhalde öyle. Şu ikisini sorgulayacağız zaten. Şu karı nerede şimdi? Bunları bulmam lazım.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research. Yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
10 dakikada bunu konuşuyoruz. Şuna da bakalım. Herkese konuşacağız herhalde. Arkadaşlar şöyle yapalım. Bölümümüzü burada bitirelim. Bir sonraki bölümümüzde aslında biraz benim insan yemem lazım ki X bölümünü arttırayım, sonra gideyim dışarı yaratıkla kapışayım. Ne diyor? Hastalığı önleyin. Tamam, okuyoruz. Tamam, o zaman ne diyoruz? Bir sonraki bölümümüzde görüşmek üzere.